Hello, this video is created to help researchers begin a new animal care and use protocol. First thing you're going to want to do is log into the REMO homepage using your CCID and password. Once you're on to your homepage, ensure that you are on your homepage and by clicking that active link and then clicking the New Animal Study button, which has a rabbit icon on it. This will open up the new animal care and use protocol, and you'll need to complete some information on the first page to begin the process and start it. So keep in mind that anything that has a red asterisk or star has to be completed. It's a required field, and that's throughout the entire study. So I will just use random letters for my title. And notice that there's a formal title, which may be very long, okay, and that will also appear on the formal approval letter. So if that needs to be there for granting, please make sure that you give the formal title. However, you may have a shortened version of it that you'd like to go and reference it by, so you can also add that information. Please select the Animal Care and Use Committee that is appropriate for your review. This is typically based on the facility, the animal facility that your research will take place in. So for instance, if your animals are housed in one of the health sciences, lab animal services facilities, you will apply to either health sciences 1 or 2. Health sciences 1 you would apply to for category of invasiveness B or C, and health sciences 2, if your category of invasiveness is C or D, you'll select Health Sciences 2. In this particular case, we'll select Health Sciences 2. You'll also have to name yourself as the principal investigator. I'll select my name using the drop-down list here. You can search for your name by scrolling down on the screen, or use a search engine to select yourself, and I'll select it and press OK. You can clear it or select it again if necessary, and it's really important that you indicate your area of responsibility. So if you're going to be responsible in handling the animals in the study, be specific as to what role you will have. So will you be doing the animal monitoring, surgery, any procedures or injections? Clarify that information. I'm just going to use random letters and numbers just to be quick with this. I'll have my role identified as a position on the project and click OK. Now, as I move down the page, you can see that there are other areas that need to be completed. So some of the questions are important as to how they branch. So in this particular question, 5.0, will all procedures on live animals in the study be conducted by staff from the animal facility? If you answer yes, there's a certain set of questions that will have to be answered. And if you answer no, they'll also branch out and have different questions to be answered at a later state in the study. Okay, so just for ease, we're going to say yes. And the next part is adding any research personnel. If you're the only person doing the research, then there's no personnel to add. However, if anybody else is involved in handling the animals on your study, they must be listed here, and this information must be kept up to date. So if staff leave, please delete the personnel. If personnel are coming onto the study, they need to be added. Now remember that the personnel cannot be picked from the list until they've applied for CCID and a password, and they've taken the Part 1 ethics training that is required by CCAC standards. Once those two components are complete, they can self-register for REMO, and the training documentation will be uploaded, and you'll be able to find them in this pick list. If any of those two components haven't been done yet, they will not show up on this list, and they need to get that component completed. Look to the REO website for further information on how to help a person get CCID and passwords, and also to register for the Part 1 training. All right, so assuming that the personnel have been added, or in this case none, we would say continue. and it begins to work and takes you to the second page. Now notice here that things have changed across the top. I now have the option to save, exit, hide and show the errors, print, and use the Jump To menu. I can now select various different areas of the study that I would like to work on, and I can move back and forth between those areas. However, keep in mind that because this is a smart form, you may not necessarily have to complete some of the areas, and by using continue, the form will always only show you the pages that need to be answered. If you're done with what you can do on the study right now, you don't have any more time to come back to this, that's okay. You can use the save button to make sure that what you've worked on is saved, and exit. When you exit out, you will notice that a study has been created. You have options available to you along the side for activities. So if you have questions about what to do next, if you want to contact your coordinator, you can certainly do that by email. Or you can see that the study coordinator has now been populated, and you can click that active link and find the contact information for your coordinator. Additionally, you'll be able to edit the study further and continue that process by clicking the Edit Study button. You can see a printer version of what you've worked on already, view differences, and in particular, use the Smart Form Progress. So when you click that button, it shows you what you've completed. All right. You will be required to complete the emergency contact information prior to submitting your study as well. So please ensure that you click on that button and add emergency contact information. All right, and that you would use right down here, edit emergency contacts. Now, if you want to see this study or get out and do other things, you can go back to your home. And notice now that when I go back to my home, in my inbox, I now have this study sitting here waiting for me to finish. It's in a state called pre-submission, meaning that the coordinator does not have access to it, and until I submit that study, the coordinator will not be able to do anything with it, meaning she can't assign it to an agenda and have it reviewed. I need to go into the study, finish the work on the study and complete it all, and then click the Submit Study button to be able to send it to the coordinator. All right, that concludes how to start a study. There'll be another video presentation on tips and tricks to be successful at completing all the components required for a study.